Miss Nikki in the house.
So we know what we're good at, but we know we're not good at. We spend all of our time.
My family know I've been married for 10 years.
I had changed my life so much in such a short
I've been doing that for 18 to 19 years.
I'm one of those people who I think, I grew up
serving the majority, as far as I can remember, as a kid.
Hey everyone! Yes, I am Chandra, and
allow themselves to be free. Sometimes I do coaching and other things like that, but
dance was my life. Dance is what I knew. Dance is what I breathed.
I lost a lot of time with my daughter in that first year.
It was an amazing job for actors.
Hey, and welcome to Commit to Change, otherwise known as Legacy Podcast that gives a voice to the people who may be considered a small fry in their industry, but are doing big things in their communities. This is Miss Nikki, the Jane of all trades, but the master of living. I am committed to introducing local VIPs, vivaciously inspiring people to encourage you on your daily journey, as well as let you know what is possibly happening around you in your area. So once again, we have an awesome guest sitting with us today that I'm going to introduce you to. Meet Aldrin-David. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
So he is a serial entrepreneur in beauty and health based out in the Netherlands, correct?
That's correct. Here in Amsterdam.
Yes, Amsterdam.
It's my hometown.
Yes. So he has come from a multicultural background, which includes Dutch, Indonesian, and Yemenite. And he's influenced by his parents that showed him that the world is yours to discover along with all of its beauty. And he was able to discover at a young age his talent and creativity and the joy that he has in doing hair, which is really, really super awesome. And I just want to interject for a second. I had the opportunity to meet this young man. Besides the fact that he's poised, the way that he speaks is so elegant. His eyebrows were on fleek. I had to touch. Absolutely love his eyebrows. I was like, yes, can you please do something to mine? But anyway, I had a chance.
I love the brows.
Yes, I had a chance to meet him at the Speakers Arena, which was an event where it was 50 speakers and from 50 nations on one stage. And he was one of the delightful people that I was able to connect with that event. And so I'm so happy that you decided to join us today to tell the C2C audience about you, and I can share you with them as well, and your eyebrows.
Yes.
I'm so stupid. So
it's
Aldrin,
important.
Yes, so Aldrin, please share a little bit about yourself to our audience so they can get to know you a little better.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. On my side, also very delighted to be here. And to kick it off, the brows, they frame the face. Remember that. That's why they need to be present and visible. Well, like you said in the introduction, I come from a multicultural family, and I have two beautiful sisters and two loving parents. And I'm very thankful that they raised me the way they did, and showing us the world and where we come from. And when I look at you and at your wall, I see this big map of the world. We had that one too. Yeah, there was one on the desk for my dad, and there was a very big one hanging on the wall. So he was always pointing out, this is where your auntie lives, that's where your uncle lives, this is where your grandmother from your mom's side, this is your grandfather. It was so inspiring, and that's why I love traveling, because they showed it to us. They took us places, and I really love to do that until today. And while I was working, I was so thankful that I'm one of those few people who turned his hobby into his profession in the art of hair. and by working as a hairstylist. And I've done it with joy, and I still do it. And it gave me the opportunity to meet different people from all over the world. I always made a conscious choice to work in a salon downtown, where there's so much variety of people, where you have the Dutch people, you've got the expats, you've got the tourists, all working near or in a hotel. Personally, it gave such a fun and pleasant vibe for me because, one, I was able to learn from other people. I was able to stay connected with the different cultures all over the world. And I was able to practice all my languages that I learned at school. So that was one of the perks in working downtown, and always be interested in people.
Yeah. So tell me, because like most hairdressers don't get the opportunity to travel outside of being in the shop. And
Yes.
obviously you were at this event, and you were able to utilize your profession there at the event, as well as speak about your own journeys on stage. So tell me, like, what inspired you to come out, of the shop and really expand your company or expand your business as an entrepreneur and take it, your services traveling? Like, what committed your life to change by providing services worldwide and taking it outside of just, it being just an income, if that makes sense?
Yeah. All right. Well, I always felt that another fortunate thing that how I felt was like the world is coming to visit me in my town.
Mm-hmm.
But besides your personal holidays, I always wanted to go different places. And then I realized the only way to do it is either get hired by a company that sends you like all over, but those positions are very few, very, very
Mm-hmm.
few. And or you need to do something for yourself. But if you're working and things are going well, you kind of get stuck in a certain rhythm
Mm-hmm.
that serves you. And it became a comfort zone, even though my longing to do more, to be out there, was very strong. I just didn't do it. Maybe I was a little stubborn, I felt, or maybe there was a little fear. And then eventually I just describe it as the cosmos took action, and I got involved in a car accident. And that's the moment when my life changed 7 years ago. Everything was changed. Nothing was like I recognized it. So if something like that happens, you really are being put in a place where you're forced to look at yourself. Where am I now? What I need to do? Of course, you need to focus on your recovery, on your health, getting that back. But if you look further, what do you want to do? What if the medical people, like my doctors told me, like, well, sir, you might want to change profession because you're just not able to continue as you used to do. Because that's just too hard for you, too difficult. And if you are lucky enough to turn your hobby into your profession, that really hurts. What am I going to do? And then it doesn't happen overnight. You think about it a lot. Then changing your profession is just not one thing. Well, was I really happy where I am in life, where I was in life? Did everything serve me the way I want to? What are my desires? What are my dreams? Are my dreams coming closer to me or not? And then I realized I really needed to change everything. First of all, I used the word thankful a lot because I am thankful. I still have my arms and my legs. I wasn't bound to a wheelchair. I didn't lose my speech. And I count that because I was raised to be thankful. But I realized that I had to look in the mirror and embrace all the beautiful and all the ugliness inside myself. But if I really want to thrive, if I really want to be the person that I am, I cannot settle for a little bit. Because in the end, I settled for a little bit. Yes, it made me laugh. Yes, I did something that I love. Yes, I meet people, but it was only a handful. I had so much more to give, and I felt I had so much more to receive, but I put myself in a certain position where I couldn't develop as much as I'd like to. So again, that moment was like, I felt I was like massacred.
So it was
really.
So you feel like, because you were at that point, you were already working in the shop and you were doing hair and everything at that point. And so, sorry.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
And even though I extended it with makeup and being an esthetician, that took me some places. It wasn't giving the fulfillment that I did. And now I couldn't do anything of that anymore. So what are you gonna do now?
So how long did it take you in order to recover, and then to decide that, life was too short, that now you're going to take those gifts that God has given you to give it to the world? How long was that transition time?
That was about 5 years. That was
Wow.
about 5 years. First, I had my physical recovery. Then also comes the combination when you're reintegrating, and also mentally. So how does the world react to me? Because the world reacts different towards you if you walk around, if you have a cane, or if you have, how do you call it when you're, when you have a cast? People are very understanding. Something, you have a temporary disability. But if your pain or the things or when your disability is invisible, then people just perceive you as normal. But there's so many things that I can't do as before the accident.
So your handicap basically was internal, and so the same understanding that people would have for the visual handicaps, they didn't have for you, because they didn't know what you were going through. Yeah.
And don't forget, I'm very proud, I'm very vain, and I'm not looking for any broken wing story, but yeah, I have my limits. Right. Was already frustration for me. So the mirror went even, it was like a huge mirror that I had to see. Okay, what do I see? Do I like it? But the next step is what I'm gonna do about it. This is what you have. This is the body you have. These are still your talents, but you can only do so much. Right. How are you gonna trigger yourself? So I had to trigger everything. Not just finding a new profession, but also the way I look at people and how I interact with people.
So what did you shift in your profession, other than taking it worldwide?
Well, first I went back to school, because I thought, if I cannot go back into aesthetics, if I cannot work with my hands, then I got to work with my brains. So I went back to school, and in the Netherlands, I need to have a higher degree in order to be admitted at university. And but I was still looking for, because it was a decision that I made here. And everyone was, yes, you should do it. I'm so proud. I don't know how you can do it. You're going back to school. People were like 20 years younger than you are. I don't know how I could do it. But the decision was not made in my heart. But social economically, it said, well, you got to providing your income. You better do something, right? So when during my exams, I got into coaching.
Mm.
And I was very triggered by that because I was like this sponge, but also in a desperate way with what should I do? What can I do? What possibilities are left for me to do? Can I still find something that I was passionate about? And when I got into coaching, I had advice and had the different views of different professionals who are very successful in their industry, and they shone a different light on my capabilities.
Mm.
And they focus on entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I never thought about that. I thought I could have done it before and I missed my chance because I was too comfortable, I was too afraid, whatever excuse I had. I didn't do it. But now, how can I be an entrepreneur? And they pointed out different areas and different possibilities, but they were all using their brain.
Mm.
And I thought I need to go to university in order to use my brain. Yeah. To get licensed in a different area of expertise. But that, at the same time, it made me really, really happy because I thought I will be using my brain, but I can still use my creativity in my hands. Not in the classic way, doing 10 people at a day or 12 people as before, because that's physically just not possible anymore. But I can do 1 or 2 or 3. And why don't I extend all the knowledge that I have that I used for other companies before? Why don't I use it for myself?
Mm-hmm. So do you coach other entrepreneurs in the health and beauty industry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because we can, if you're an entrepreneur, you're the face of your company.
Yes, absolutely.
You are your brand.
Yes. So tell me,
do you need to really look good, right?
Yes.
Because you can only make a first impression once.
Yes, absolutely. Which, like I said, you made your impression with me. First with the eyebrows. I'm sorry, I have a thing for brows. Okay, so tell me, like, what was your biggest obstacle throughout the 5 years that you were transitioning? What was your biggest obstacle in committing your life to change? And then how did you overcome it?
My biggest obstacle was myself, not willing to let go of the things that I had. And if you're not willing to let things go, then how are you able to receive new things?
And how did you overcome that?
Well, I kind of remembered a story, and it was a story that I read like in my early teens, and it was about a little girl who received a gift from her auntie, and it was a pearl bracelet. And she was so happy with it. And she showed it to everyone, her friends and her parents. But her father was a jewelry maker. And he saw the bijou, the fake pearls. And he saw how happy his little girl was. And then he asked her, daughter, I don't know what the name was, can I have those pearls? And she was like, no, it's mine. I just got it from my auntie. I'm so happy with it. 1 week later, darling, could you hand me those pearls? She looked at the father like, but it's my gift. And she didn't do it. 3rd time, 1 week later, darling, can I have those pearls? And she held on to that pearls. But then it's my father. If he wants the pearls, give it to my father. So she gave the pearls to her daddy. And what did her father do? He threw it in the fireplace to destroy it. So she became emotional. But when she calmed down, he gave her a little box. And she opened the box. What did she find? She found a bracelet with real, natural pearls.
Wow.
And then I thought, I settled for something that wasn't real, or that only gave joy, which was limited. And I held on to that. People told me before, you need to work for yourself, do it for yourself. Now you're training people for all the bigger companies. Now you're doing hair for a small salon. You're building someone else's dream. You have to do it yourself. And there were excuses. Yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but. And then the universe took action. And then I thought, I don't want to be like the little girl. I want the real thing. So in order to receive the real thing that had so much more value, I need to give up what I have now, whatever it is, even if it looks beautiful, even if it makes you smile. But if you forget that smiling moment really, really fast, then you're looking for the next thrill.
Yeah.
And it's been years in my early teens, but I never forgot the story, because the story made me weep when the father threw the pearls in the fireplace and it burned. But then it made me smile because he gave her the real thing out of love.
Wow.
And he was a jewel maker, right? I don't know why I remember that. And then like, yeah, I'm settling for some things that doesn't give me 100% fulfillment. It can only get me so far. And now I'm really, really able and responsible to build my dream.
Right.
So that really, it really requires commitment every day.
Awesome. Yes, you're right. Okay, so Aldrin, during that time, who do you think, or who would you say was your biggest supporter through all of that?
My biggest supporter is, well, definitely my family.
Nice.
Yeah, because my life got very lonely after the accident. I mean, you really get to know your real friends, you know, when times get tough.
Wow.
So
yes, that's so true.
My family and a couple friends, they were there for me. Even just mentally, I was very happy with. I am very happy with them. They've been around for a while, and I expect them to be around for a while as well.
Wow, that's good.
And so socially, it was my life changed totally as well. But they were there, even to pick up a phone.
You'd be surprised. Like it really takes different. Where you said that the cosmos or the universe took over. It does that also when it's time to weed out those people who are not supposed to be in your circle, especially when it's time for you to move on to the next level because they can't handle that. I always have this. I always have the saying where like when people are removed from your life as you're climbing the ladder of success, it's because they don't have the lung capacity to live at that, to be at that level. Because, you know, as it gets higher and higher, it's harder to breathe. And those people who fall off, they don't have the lung capacity to go that high. So they can't come with you. So I also use that visually.
You phrase that really beautifully. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. But you say that in a very respectful way.
Yes. Yes, because it's a way like to understand and accept what is happening, because it can be devastating at times because you expect certain people to be in your life for the long haul, whether it's a friend, a spouse, or family member, whichever, but everyone's not meant to be there. So that is why sometimes they get left behind and you just love them from afar, you know, kind of wave at them, be like, hey, you know, I thought of you, love you, but I'm keeping going forward because you can't let that stop you. So
yeah, you're very right. I even left,
yeah.
cut out my partner at the time out of my life because I felt
Wow.
that's part of what I had need to let go.
Mm.
Really, I stripped everything.
Yeah. And I bet you like your energy field just shifted as well, because then you were able to bring different things into your life that you weren't, because you were being blocked by whatever energies were around you. So that's really great. And then you had the opportunity to meet us. Yay.
Yeah. Because if you're open to opportunities and you make the steps, even though you don't know where you're going, it's not clear where the next direction will be, new opportunities show up, new people show up.
Absolutely.
The universe just creates new passages where you meet lovely people and people you can work with, people you interact with, people you have relations with. And I'm living part of my dream, and little by little it gets more and more. I've been traveling so much in the last 2 years since I decided to choose for myself and to create the new me. And I'm thankful. I really am.
So now that you're traveling outside, can you tell me, because that also broadens your community, how do you feel that you're adding value to your community?
When I decided that it was important to invest in coaching, because if I don't go to the university, who will be my teachers? Who's going to teach me to be better, to be smarter? Who's going to teach me techniques? I need to find new teachers in life. So I found that in coaching, and that opened new doors.
Okay. And then you're bringing what you learned to your community.
Yes, because that part of that coaching also meant it's not only about taking care of yourself, it's also about taking care of others.
Absolutely.
When I was really surprised when I heard that. It also was kind of a flashback because it's very biblical. It comes back from what I heard in my religious background. And I used to do voluntary work before for the church, and then I got very busy with myself for years, and thought, no, we need to be out there. So I find the AIDS for Help Foundation. What do you need? I see you're needing and looking for volunteer people to support your team. But yeah, we need people for outreach work, but we also need testers. And I was like, well, as a child, I always wanted to be a doctor. I can draw blood. So that's what I started doing. So even in my own community, I was busy on a whole different level, but I was able to participate and give back. And at the same time, working on my own business. How can I serve as much people in my expertise? So that was like a two-edged sword to get back, also socially, you know?
Yeah. So, Aldrin, tell me, what tips or advice would you give to someone who is sitting on the fence of their field of dreams?
Well, you just really need to do it. Just cut yourself loose from the things that hold you back, because there's a big surprise behind the mountain. And if you start climbing the mountain, some mountains aren't that high. But
they're actual hills, right?
they're just hills. You know, it takes effort to climb them. But before you climb them, there's just so much that holds you back, whether it's fear, whether it's certain habits, whether it's people.
Right.
And then you're able to see the big picture. And after the hill, the real mountains come. But there's a reward. There's a reward.
Absolutely.
Because The reward will be building your own dreams. So just do
Yes.
it. There's nothing to lose. If you fall, you just get up.
Yes.
Yeah. Dust yourself
Climb
off.
up.
You powder your nose. Straighten your brows. Put on your SPF and you continue.
You're funny. All right, here we are. It is time for the lightning round. And so I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you just answer them short and sweet or however you want to answer them. And are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Bring it on.
All right. What initially held you back from changing your life to dedicating to others?
I wasn't willing to give up the things that I had.
Okay. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Be yourself and dare to do it.
Share a personal habit that contributes to your success.
Being curious.
Oh, okay.
Being curious. Yes.
To never stop learning. That's what adds the curiosity, right?
Yeah, and they say curiosity killed the cat. Well, that's not the case. That's not the case. No, the contrary is true. And then again, if you fall, you get up.
Absolutely. So what book would you recommend to our audience and why?
There is a book and that helped me in my journey when I had so many question marks. And it's a small book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And it's about doors that close. But life is sometimes a maze. And you go look for other doors that will open. Don't wait for that door that you used to be able to open again. That might take a lot of time. And we don't have that time. Time is precious. Time is the one thing, it's the one commodity that we won't get back.
Right. So this book, I've actually been told about this book. I think you're the 3rd person who has told me now about this book, and I have yet to read it. So I think I need to get it so I can read it too. So I can see what this excitement is all about. But just the storyline, what it was explained to me about it in itself is really deep. So I'm gonna definitely have to put that in my library because I'd like to collect.
And it's an
books.
easy read. It's a short book. It's a very easy read. Do it.
Yeah. All right. Here's your deep question. If you found out that you had 1 hour left to live and you had the opportunity to share one final message, what would it be?
1 hour left to live. Do what you love. Do what you love.
All right.
Something that puts a smile on your face.
Absolutely. Like doing podcasts for me. I like
Yay!
learning about other people. This is fun. So how can our audience find out more about you and what you're doing, Aldrin?
You can find me on my website, which is very easy. It's my name, Aldrin-David.com. And you can find me there. Or on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook. I have a business page. It's called Beauty Beyond Limits. And on Instagram, it's Aldrin-David Style.
All right. Make sure that you guys check that out. So that is a wrap. I want to thank all of you for joining us today with our wonderful, wonderful guest, Aldrin-David. Thank you so much for being our VIP guest on the C2C podcast. And again, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We hope you feel inspired to keep moving forward towards your goals and stick with it or make a commitment to change your life. And please make sure to check out the links provided by our guests and share today's podcast and information with anyone you feel may benefit from it. And remember, in order to get to the top of the steps, you have to take the first step. step. Just don't step on anyone on the way, because you just might trip. This is Miss Nikki. Till next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Dream, sparkle, and shine.